Good morning, and thank you for having me here on this platform. So when I talk about redefining value of people, purpose, and possibilities, I gather all my experience of 22 years. I call myself an accidental HR because when I started my journey, professional journey, I never thought of being an HR professional. So since childhood, I always used to love a song sung by late Hemant Kumar or Hemant Mukhopadhyay in Bangla. আমায় প্রশ্ন করে নীল ধ্রুব তারা আর কতকাল আমি রব দিশাহারা রব দিশাহারা. This song in Hindi was moved as by late Mohammad Rafi song, a beautiful song, Kahin Dur Jab Din Dhal Jaye. So this song means, the Bangla song means, how long will I wonder or keep thinking, looking at the stars, that where will I be? And throughout all these experiences, I always kept thinking about the same thing. Am I at the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Because HR, any which ways, as I mentioned, was never a thought when I started my journey. So over these years, I gathered experience of people, what is the purpose of the life, and how the possibilities can be redefined. Because, of course, I grew up in a middle-class family, born and brought up in Patna, a city wherein every son had to be an engineer or a daughter had to be a doctor. But I never felt it like that. So when I define people, I'll define it through my experience over the 22 years. Like, I never resonated being into the department as HR. I never resonated myself as a resource. Because when we talk about people, we have always heard them as resources. We are hiring resources. But I never felt it like that. Because resource is something wherein your petroleum is going to end, diesel is going to end. That is why we are evolving towards the EV. Tomorrow, I don't know, something else will come up, like there is something we have heard that Toyota or Honda, I think they have come up with a water car that will run on water. So this is all about resources. Someday or the other, the resource will end. So similarly, people will never end. When you start looking at people from just as a resource, that means we have to extract something. इससे कुछ फायदा उठा लो. Take some benefit out of us, all of us. That is how the world has become. So why can't we take people as possibilities, which is unlimited? When you talk about people as unlimited people, we grow them from an X. I started my journey as a computer graduate, never wanted to remain in that computer field, so I did sales, then training, then HR, and of course in between first was MBA finance. So a finance guy, computer guy, did sales, did finance, then got into training and then HR, and then studied HR. If somebody would have thought me only a computer person, probably I would have been a horrible computer person. But I enjoyed the journey of public speaking, and that is how HR came into my life. And I saw always people as possibilities, with immense possibilities. When I recruit people, I just see their attitude. But I have always heard in boardrooms that there's a dearth of talent. Will you tell your family members that your son or daughter is absolutely not talented in the family? They are also talented because you have belief in them. You know that with your belief, they'll of course grow. Why can't you treat your people the same way? Students or people are never the same. This is, after all, not an extruder machine wherein everything will be the same. So when we move from people as resource to a possibility, we see a concept called seed. When you plant a seed, the same seed planted in different atmospheres gives a different tree or a plant. Now when it comes to purpose, I really loved one sentence made by Sadhguru. If you are looking for a purpose and you find one, you are surely going insane. I felt that day that yes, somebody thinks in a different way. and that is how it is to be. I never defined my life with any kind of purpose. With purposes like, imagine, we are married. When we got married, or in a particular community or in a particular part of India, you will always find 22 years, 21 years, ladke ki shadi kar do. You understand why, right? The hormones are driving more in that age because. But the entire life is lived, the people don't know for whom or for what they lived. So when you start defining purpose, you start restricting it. The moment you restrict anything by, like restrict it as a purpose, you start reducing the possibilities. So I believe, rather than having a purpose, let us have clarity. With clarity, there is immense potential. For example, when you are doing an MBA, when the purpose becomes that you have to get placed at a particular package, you lose on different aspects of this beautiful college or the institution. But when you see MBA as a possibility of the future, or you have absolute clarity, you have come here for knowledge or an experience, you unleash different potentials of yourself. And that is where, from purpose to clarity, there are possibilities of immense growth, wherein people, like for example Einstein, nobody would have believed in his childhood days that he would be Einstein, or anybody for so. Dr. Abdul Kalam, right? Nobody would have thought in his remote village that he would one day become the father, or you said the Rashtrapita, right? Rashtrapati actually, I'm sorry, Rashtrapati of such a beautiful country called India. So that is about possibilities, is about beyond survival, beyond your basic instincts. You do a lot of things which you have never dreamt. An atom in a different set of atmosphere behaves in a certain way. Similarly, the same atom in a different set of atmosphere will behave in a completely different format. So the real foundation, I believe, of any institution or people are the immense belief that we put in them as they have the possibility to grow. The possibility to grow from a seed to an enormous plant to generate more fruits and seeds, and finally the entire huge forest. Thus, I believe when you plant a seed as people or as a person, you put a lot of faith in that person, and that faith will finally unleash into a greater human being and finally a lovely society. True leadership is always about believing in your people that they can do best, and not believing or just having a mere thought of extracting some wealth from them. So thank you so much for having me here, and I believe we all can be a great human being if we start believing in ourselves, not as just a resource, rather a possibility. Thank you so much.